Welcome to Tirefoam Gaming. This channel is all about organizing the chaos. And the inevitable. What was I thinking? This experiment was a failure. Subscribe for the organization, not the spaghetti. Welcome back to the mediocre mega build. I am working through getting my encased industrial beams made. This is where we left off last time. And now I want to get that down into my central storage area down there. Do a blueprint for a dimensional depot on top because I'll be using those for my Mark IV belts. And to increase my steel ingot production way out there at FEC compound. So as I'm building this, I've got a lot of room here in this whole little logistics corridor. I am still bringing my stuff out here to this hallway area, which isn't terrible, but I think I can make that a little bit better. I have all of the parts going up on that side of my logistics. I have all of the stuff coming down on this side of my logistics corridor. When I bring it down, I'm just going to bring it over and out this way into here. Well, I've got to start on this reorganization. I like how this is changing around because I have a lot more vertical room in here, but it's a little bit flatter, and I think that looks better. Now I have encased industrial beams going out here and ready to be put into their container, but I'm using this fourth container, which is going to be industrial encased beams, to transfer some stuff around, because the way that this is set up, pipes should be first and then beams and then concrete and then encased industrial beams. So I'm taking all of my pipes out of here, using Mark V belts to get them out and bring them back over into there. And then I'll bring my steel into here, and then I'll bring those back into here. I could probably make this automated too. I'm just going to use my sushi belt setup at the end here for this to resort everything else out. It's going to all sort itself out eventually, maybe. I don't know. maybe it's not going to work. While this sorts itself out, I'm going to make another little blueprint to do a dimensional depot on top of this. All right. Well, I've got my dimensional depot started. I don't think I'm going to do really too much for these. These are going to go underneath my storage blueprints. And then this feed going down is going to feed into this side of a splitter. And then this can go back down and feed into wherever it's going to go. So I think something just as simple as this. That is the dimensional depot blueprint. And I'm going to try it on one of these and see how it works. Alright, I've got it in here. I had to do a half nudge to get it down into the right location like this. And I guess once I get this going and have a depot for each of my items, I can remove the depot back at my old base and just use this depot in this area. Super simple. A little bit of extra storage and depoting going on. Alright, I spent some time doing that. Let's see what's happening here. Looks like we've got some kind of error happening. This experiment was a failure. It did not work at all. We're stuck with pipes in here. Yeah. Alright, well, let's see if we can figure out something else for this. Alright, I just did it all manually. Just moved the pipes over to here. There was some in this one, and then there was some over in that one. And now we only have pipes in here, beams in here, concrete here, and there will be industrial encased beams in here. And that is running well. All right, now that that is all taken care of, some housekeeping things. I'm gonna go ahead and get steel running to higher capacity so that we can really make sure we're producing enough of these encased industrial beams. All right, now we've built in a lot of capacity for our plant, so I can make really quite a few encased industrial beams. But we need more steel beams for sure. We've got a lot of concrete coming in, so that's definitely not any kind of bottleneck, but steel beams are. So since these machines are sitting idle, they're costing us thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. That would be a nice nasty gram that I would get from my old boss when I worked in the factory. Let's do some simple engineering. So in my beams, I have 32 constructors that make 15 steel beams per minute for a total of 480 steel beams to be made. That requires 60 steel ingots to be consumed per minute per machine, which means I need 1,920 steel ingots per minute to make this many beams. This is how many steel beams I need total, 864, in order to make all of these work. So I need a lot more steel ingots in order to make that happen. I need 1,920 steel ingots total to make 480 beams. So I need almost double that. So we're going to expand some of our steel manufacturing to help bring that to realization. That is a lack of planning and quite a miss. And we've got a train here delivering some steel already, some steel ingots. So let's see what kind of throughput these freight platforms are telling us. 90 items per minute. And of course, 90 times 4 is 360. That's quite a bit shy of the almost 4,000 that we need, and we missed our train. We can do 960 technically per freight platform. This one train should be able to do all of the steel beams that I need. I'll have to do some more planning on future things to see if I'm really doing something that's realistic or that's just kind of crazy. And here we are at our FEC compound where we're making steel ingots. Let's double check to see what we're capable of doing with the machines we have here. On this spreadsheet, which matches the factory setup, you have A1, A2, A3, and A4. These are the consumptions and productions that I'll be doing. So 180 steel ingots per bay for a total of 720 steel ingots per section, consuming 480 iron ingots and 480 coal. And that doesn't put me too far off. I can create a total of 2,880 steel ingots. Looking at my encased beams, I need 864 steel beams, which means I need 3,456 steel ingots. I can make 2,880. So I could double up my factory and put the second floor in, use the second output from my freight platforms, and I'll be able to make this times 2. Since I'm an engineer, I can only do math this way. 5,760 steel ingots. Considering also steel pipes, which need some steel ingots as well. 1,920 plus 3,456 is 5,376. So we'll make a second floor at some point in time, but that's what I need in order to make what I'm making. And I'm very, very shy of the total iron ingots coming in that I need. 60 items per minute per platform. Well, we've got some work to do. See you in about 7 or 8 hours. And we're back. All right, 3 miners, normal, so 120, so 360, so 360 more iron ore. Okay, so in order to try to make some order out of this chaos, I'm doing some planning and number crunching and figuring out what I can do here. And after about 4 hours of work, I am now at 1,560 iron ingots being sent to my FEC compound to make steel ingots. And I have 840 coal per minute coming in, which is like half of what I need for the plant to be at full operating conditions. I'm getting pretty close with iron, but I'm liking how this planning is working and how I'm trying to represent what my factory looks like by these rows and these columns. All right, imagine if you would, this factory has columns. This is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Each of these blueprints contains 3 refineries. So we have A1, A2, A2, A3, and A4 right there. And then B1, 2, 3, 4, C, and D. Now my iron ingot train, there's only one that's delivering iron ingots back to my FEC compound. Its first stop is here at Ferrous Formation. And it picks up iron ingots, which are made from that one pure node, so I only get 60 iron ingots per minute in these containers. And its next stop is here at Ferrous Extraction Point, and adds to the iron ingots that were previously picked up. Now my trains are set up as 4 freight car trains with 1 engine, and every single outpost is planned to be balanced so that all of the iron ingots or all of the coal is balanced out using a balancing logistics system so that equal amounts of product get put into each of the freight cars. Then I added a new rail line, which takes us to its last stop, Ferrous Outpost. This takes iron from ore mined off in the distance from pure nodes and loads up 480 iron ingots per minute into each one of these freight containers. This one didn't need a balancer because there were 4 miners and therefore they were already balanced at 480. This will top off everything before we head back to the FEC compound to drop off our iron ingots to be made into steel. My coal train has only 2 stops right now. Coming up to Coal Station 41. Coal Station 41 gives a total of 360 coal per minute from 4 different miners. There's 2 normal and 2 impure. So what I had to do to make this balance out is merge everything together and then split it all out. We say goodbye to Coal Station 41 just for a moment as we head to our next stop. And here we are, arriving at Carbon Core Extraction. Here, I'm getting 480 coal per minute total. Same style, it's split evenly across all 4 of these freight cars. All my carbon is brought in from these 4 miners, 2 down here and 2 off in the distance. Everything is merged together and brought in on one Mark IV belt for 480 coal per minute. And that's about it for my steel expansion. I've got a few little tweaks I want to do, including changing around some of these blocks and paths just to keep things flowing a little bit faster. And I'm experimenting a bit with my 4 freight car trains balancing out, because that is what I'm producing or capable of producing in FEC at the FEC compound. So I have a lot more capacity now for my steel ingots, and I will be able to make more things. That's it for steel. We'll see you next time when, I don't know what we're gonna make. Maybe we'll need to upgrade our power, because we are way over our actual capacity for our max construction. See you all next time.